play of QBs this season, man. What's going on with these quarterbacks this year, man?
Yeah,
What is going on? So
go ahead.
I know we want to chime on this a little bit and really cover it, but
Yeah.
Quarterback play this year has definitely been not as his best. I think, you made a good point when we were talking offline that, Josh Allen started off good, but then he fizzled out.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow started off slow and then he picked up momentum.
Yeah.
And just looking at a lot of these quarterbacks, it's kind of like,
look at it. That was my argument. Well, not argument. That was my thing, because it wasn't really an argument. It was just what I was trying to say. I don't know if I can name a top 4 or top 5 quarterback. The top 3 this year was Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. That was it. And Josh Allen could be debatable. And this for you guys know, because this is what most people use. This is Pro Football Focus.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't have access yet, but it still shows the rankings. It doesn't show the stats for the year, but it shows the top 3. But Josh Allen, to me, he still was, according to Pro Football Focus, he's still number 1, but he struggled that second half of the season. Joe Burrow, he just started coming back alive that second half of the season. And I know he had Jamar Chase out for the first half, but I mean, it was more than Jamar Chase, which I take Jamar Chase over Jefferson all day. And shout out to Jeff, but I know he has a better quarterback. But I just take Jamar, dog. But
I mean, think about it. Look at it like Russell Wilson just fell off. I mean,
fell off. Look at that. Look who's number 4. Look who's behind. Oh, okay.
Tyler Heineke.
Marcus
Mariota.
That's your
Falcons. He got benched.
Got benched.
Like it even looking at this list, like just looking at this list, you start seeing some names on here like Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, and those 2 quarterbacks did not know where watching the games, we all know they didn't have no good. Hell, Zach Wilson is a prime example.
Yeah,
didn't have a good season, and then Josh, and to use Josh as a good example. Yes, he's number 1, but then when you look at that game he had against the Bengals, they were only able to put up 10 points.
Yeah,
only able to put up 10 points, nothing else. They couldn't do anything else.
Yeah,
and even with the little game where they went into that, they had that big comeback, they had a scramble big win with that first down catch by Stephon Diggs to keep him within the game. I think they were almost about to lose that game to who was it? Was it the Jets? No, who was it? They almost lost that game to, and they had to fight and claw their way back. It was the Detroit Lions.
The Lions,
yeah, and I don't know, man. I think quarterback play this year has been down, and I just think that's because in the NFL, these defensive coordinators and these teams start understanding players and start understanding what gets them rolling and what doesn't get them rolling. And we see a prime example of what happened with Tom Brady fell off. I mean, he didn't have an offensive line. I mean, they didn't even have no running game. The running back,
Leonard Fournette just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, he came into the offseason heavy.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he did. That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a really good point.
You come in the offseason heavy, and see, this is where it comes the importance of when you play in this sport. You got to really have a love for this, because it becomes a wear and tear, and you find yourself you have your little off season, the season's over, and you want to go home. You just want to chill. You don't want to be working out. But then when the season starts, you don't pack on this weight. Now you got to try to hurry and burn it off. And if you haven't been really putting in that work outside of that in the off season, it's going to transition on the field, and you're going to see it. And Leonard Fournette was a prime example. And
that's a really good point. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he came in very heavy, and you can see, because think about it. Geno Smith if anybody will argue, had a very good season.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he had a very good season, but you see where they got him at. He's right up under Zach Wilson.
Yeah. And I think he's under Zach because Zach didn't really play. So his stats.
Yeah, stats looks good. You got stat pad going on.
Yeah, he's stat padding. But, I look at, I mean, I don't know, man. Like you used to look at the quarterbacks. You could name 10 at least.
Yeah,
you couldn't name anything. And then I know this is just a QB segment, but it's the same for the defense.
Yeah,
the defense, it wasn't really no standout, because you want to say, oh, that means the defense dominated. Not really. Not really. I mean, it just wasn't really a I'll say this, and I told you this many times offline. This is the first year where I watched college football more than the NFL. And it was some games I wasn't really even interested in watching. I was watching this for the podcast sake. Like I'll be honest, it was that type of, it was too up and down. Like I don't want nobody. It wasn't like one of those like, damn, I'm sick of this because one team is just dominating. It was like nobody was really dominating. Any game can win any way.
Yeah.
Which you would think that'd be exciting, but it's like, damn, we don't even got at least 1, 2, or 3 dominant teams in this. But
yeah,
I mean, I look at who's down there. Tua, yeah, Tua should be a little higher, but he was hurt, so that's unfortunate. But I hate it for Tua because he was balling. He was balling, man. He was balling. But let me scroll down a little bit more. Let's see, Davis Mills, Matthew Stafford. We know what's going on with Matthew.
Look at that, Jalen Hurts.
Why is Jalen Hurts all the way down there? I don't understand that. Damn, we need to get this unlocked because I gotta see why. Why is Jalen? I forgot. See, that's the other. Forgot he was a quarterback until I looked at this list.
That's crazy. If Jalen Hurts is that far down,
that's yeah. This is wild. Yeah. Yeah, this is a wild ranking. Wow. Yeah, I want to make sure I got the right one. Yeah, this is for the year. Yeah. It shows this. Yeah. Okay. I'm speechless. I don't
and so to piggyback on that, like for Jalen Hurts to be that far down in the rankings, I don't know how they go about pulling their numbers and looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Saying that just kind of just tells you like what they're really looking at.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I don't think that's really how Jalen Hurts really. I think Jalen Hurts should be ranked a lot higher.
Yeah, I
let's get some ESPN. Let's get some.
Yeah, let me find something else, man, because that no way in hell.
Yeah. I want to give all credit to ESPN. There we go.
Here we go. Okay, this is better. This is okay. Pro Football Focus. What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is better.
But even with Kirk Cousins, like
he dominated this year.
But he dominated in certain games, like y'all call them prime time.
Yeah.
He wasn't, I just think, man, Kirk Cousins, he kind of reminds me of like a Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
They both remind me of the same. You give them some decent weapons, they can do something, but they'll still give you a setback. Yeah. Kirk Cousins is only going to take Minnesota but so far.
Yeah.
I'm really, I agree with you that quarterback play this year has not been the best. I think we had some good, showings. Like Jalen Hurts did a phenomenal job this year. Geno Smith has done a very good job this year. I mean, hell, we've had some good slinging, everybody's been putting up some shows, but it hasn't been consistent. I mean, hell, the fact that Daniel Jones is ranked number 8 out of the 10 kind of tells you that, because he didn't really start showing up until like mid-season.
Mid-season.
And once Barkley really got going, started showing. Go ahead.
Hold on, not to cut you off, but hold on, look. So we got 85. This is how bad quarterback play was. This is QBR. So 60. The 10th person, 45, bro. So so if you want, it's only a top 9 quarterbacks, which that's still debatable. But we start right at 10, and it starts from 45 and down. That's sad. Didn't even name the rest of them. They just went to 14. That's it.
Is that QBR rated?
That's QBR, bro. Let me make sure. QBR. Yep, QBR. I'm telling you, we had a shitty season this year for QBs. Like, it was not impressive at all. Like, Tom Brady is way down there. Where he at? 23.8 for the year? Oh, God. That has to be a record for his worst year ever.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Like, this is not.
Yeah, quarterback play. So let me ask you this. If quarterback play was so bad this year, then what was the biggest thing that stood out?
What was the biggest thing?
On either side of the ball, if quarterback play just wasn't that well, what was the big factor that kept a lot of these teams, like for example, these playoff teams, like the Bengals, the Chiefs, the 49ers, and the
Oh,
Eagles. What stood out? What's keeping them able to continue to go on to the next round?
man, all around play. It's not. I mean, football is never. I don't think it's ever a one man sport, a one man game. But
Yeah,
the teams that are, think about it. Look at the teams that are in the playoffs. I mean, like right now in final, the 49ers, special teams, offense, defense, solid.
yeah.
Who else? We got the Eagles. Offense, defense, special teams, solid.
Yeah.
We got the Bengals. The offensive line is, I know now the offensive line showed up against the Bills, and they were 3 guys that they lost 3 of their starters, and they implemented 3 guys that never played, well, that hasn't played this year, and they look like they were studs. So they 3 guys. But when I look at the Bengals, offense, defense, special teams, solid. Then we go to Patrick Mahomes and the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Offense, always offense. Now the defense could be hit and miss, but still
I say
solid.
front 7. I say front 7 is it.
Yeah, so I would still say solid. And the special teams, they can break up, run for a touchdown any minute. So I just think it's more about this year was all around game. Like if you were the team that didn't have all the phases, solid. I mean, that's what saved some of these games. You know, because it wasn't just based on the offense. It wasn't. Oh, and then hey. Another thing that don't get talked about, this year was the most year that kickers missed the most PAT or missed a lot of the PATs. Kickers were missing 3 points or 3 points everywhere during the season. And hell, in playoffs too. What the hell's going on with that?
Yeah, that Cowboy, man, he when he drive home, he need to make sure everything's tinted.
Oh, yeah, for real. Oh, yeah, here not well, Houston, but in Dallas, oh, yeah. Him and Dak. Dak too. That too.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I agree with you, man. I don't know if, you know, I really do agree with you when it comes out. The quarterback play this year has been off. Like, you know, I wouldn't even like, I know they have Dak Prescott ranked number 3 here. I just think that's just because of how, like you said, quarterback play was. Like, Lamar Jackson didn't perform. He'd been injured. He sat down. Didn't really do nothing. He's not been on. I think he's been on here.
Yeah, because he was hurt.
Because he hasn't really done that. Tom Brady and Josh Allen both, you know, very underperformed. Justin Herbert lost a lot of his talent, a lot of his weapons, and plus he was injured. So you had a lot of downplay this year. That injuries, I really do think injuries affected the players all year round. Because think about it, if Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers would have had the weapons that they had, Keenan Allen, the tight end, they would have had them all season, you would have had a different season. If Justin Herbert would have been healthier, Keenan Allen would have been healthy, the tight end would have been healthy, and that other wide receiver they had would have been healthy, you would have had a different season this year. Oh, hell, even who was that defensive lineman that was hurt?
For who?
The Chargers.
Oh, Khalil Mack?
Yeah.
I definitely agree with the injuries. That's another piece too. But especially towards Justin Herbert, because he got injured, I think week 2.
Yeah, what his ribs?
Yeah, and that was it for him. You know, he's just he's on a steady decline. So, but man, it was just some weak quarterback play, man. This was not impressive at all.
And the fact that Prescott up there with them interceptions is just raw.
That don't make sense. That don't make any sense, bro. Come on.